We are now in conversation with the management of Dynamatic Technology, Udayant Malhoutra. He's the CEO and MD who is joining us to give us and tell us a little more on the latest update with respect to the company. Well, we understand that the company has signed a long-term contract with Dassault Aviation, and this is to manufacture and assemble critical aerostructures, structures for Dassault's flagship Falcon 6X aircraft, and collaborations are likely to and expected to strengthen partnerships between the two companies. Udayant, good morning and thanks for joining in. I have given the basic details out for our viewers. If you could perhaps help us understand what this particular partnership means and what this contract can perhaps mean for the company as well.
Thank you, Agam. As you're aware, Dynamatic is a long-term tier one to Airbus, Boeing, Bell helicopter, and we're a global sole supplier of various major and complex assemblies for them, aerostructure assemblies. An aerostructure is typically hundreds, perhaps even 1,000 parts put together. So we have a subsidiary of ours that makes little detail parts, and then we put them together. So this facility around me is a facility where we make flak track beam assemblies for all the variants of Airbus, the 318, the 319, 320, 321, and A330 on a global sole supplier basis. These are, what you see under the wings that move the flaps up and down, that lift the aircraft up into the air when it's taking off and bring it back to Earth safely. So they're very flight critical and complex. Over the years, we've developed a lot of excellence out of the production at Bangalore and our subsidiary in UK, which makes certain alternative set of parts. So we do complex 5-axis machining in the UK. We do all our complex and highly crafted sheet metal parts in Bangalore, and over here we have the major assembly. With the latest contract, as you know, the Dassault is going through a big boom across the world. Not just in India, they have a huge order book and backlog for their Rafale fighter jet. And also they're a very, very successful manufacturer of very high-end business jets. The 6X is their latest business jet. Given their huge demand, they are looking at India as the global manufacturing hub. And so this actually is the brand new Falcon 6X. And so when we talk about aerostructures, we've signed actually 2 contracts with them. One is to make detail parts, and one is to assemble those into segments of aircraft. So this would be a very solid start to a long-term business with an extraordinary global company called Dassault.
Right. Udayant, if you could tell us a little more about the kind of order book that the company has currently, also what this particular contract would mean, and how long is this contract for in terms of a time horizon?
So if you don't mind, I won't share financial data. I will give you whatever you need. Otherwise, this is that period of time where we are in a silent period, and we just need to be careful about any numbers. We have a very, our order book is of the company in aerostructures is around 5,500 to 6,000 crores existing. And in addition to that, we have an order book of our hydraulic products of another equal, roughly 5,000 to 6,000 crores. So we have very strong order books. Typically, these kind of products are life of program. So I haven't even taken the life of program. I've just taken what we have. If you take life of program, it would be double or 2.5 times that. When you start manufacturing these complex products, you typically engineer them, work with the customer, and work through the life cycle of that product. So the 6X being the latest of their aircraft, we will have a very, very long business on this. And then, of course, it will grow because this is just the first step with Dassault. Dassault is very, very bullish in India. India has been a big market for them for 70 years, not just the Rafale, but from the Tufani, the Mirages. They've been a very strong industrial partner to our defense sector. With the emerging world-class manufacturing that they're seeing out of India, they want to make India a manufacturing hub as well.
Right, right. Udayant, I also want an idea on the kind of opportunities that you see in the markets that you already cater to, areas that Dynamatic Technologies hasn't yet covered but does plan to going forward over the span of the next few years.
So actually what we try and do is not sell products. We try and sell expertise. We try and sell kabilta, capability. So a lot of, except for our really long-term shareholders who are very strongly associated with the business, we grew very strongly for 2 decades. And the last decade, we basically grown sideways. What we explained to all our shareholders was this was a unique opportunity the last decade to take a very high quality and capable automotive business and to segue it completely into a world-class aerospace company. So we did that for 10 years. So we've been a global supplier to our partners for the last 17. So let me just tell you, 2 years ago, we won Airbus's Global Sustainability Award. It's their best of the best, global best of the best award out of their 18,000 suppliers. They just give it to one company. A few months ago, we were supplier of the year for Boeing. And it's, again, one company out of 11,000 companies. We are Bell Helicopter's best global supplier. So what we see now is the opportunity to do bigger and better things on the back of this demonstrated capability we have. So I think we are going into the next wave, which will be the next decade. And I think we've done that, focus of re-change into a business that we want to be. It takes a long time. Everybody talks about aerospace and defense, how they'll do it. Everybody who's starting now will take a decade to do it. We've got it behind us.
All right. And also, one idea in terms of the kind of traction that we have seen with respect to input costs. I reckon that we have seen a little bit of a reining in of the kind of inflation that we saw maybe in the previous few years. That hasn't been the case in the last couple of quarters. What is your observation, and what kind of impact do you think it could have on your margins? Once again, I'm not asking about this specific quarter.
No, this is a very fair question. So, and it's a good question. So, the last few years, especially after COVID, have been a hugely inflationary period. The advantage in the aerospace world is that we are a fully enabled supplier. So we have access to long-term contracts of all our major customers on material. So we have a full 100% pass-through on the material side. In terms of manufacturing, our internal costs, we continuously have efficiencies that come from efficiencies of scale and also through productivity gains. So we are able to be ahead of the inflation curve. That said and done, very specific to Dynamatic, we have bulked up, we have muscled up for the next wave of orders. So we've actually built around us multiple plants capable of doing double or 2.5 times what they're doing on the basis of anticipated orders that we will get this year. So what is interesting is we've already absorbed a cost increase on an existing volume of business, but the incoming volume of business will be far greater and will not necessarily have the same additive costs. So I think we're in a very good position, as I said, to go into the next S-curve. Very specific to us.
Right, Udayant. Well, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us and taking us through the prospects of the business as well as the latest contract that you have at Dassault. And of course, we'll continue to keep an eye and track on the upcomings for the company. We wish you the best for the future.